out in the Ozarks, in Ozark Mountains in Missouri, southern Missouri. It's crazy to get up here, but and they have this giant river system that's basically a power plant. It feeds the power plant at the dam, and that's the dam way back there. And this is the output for the river. We got a guy out there with his boat. Pretty amazing stuff. And this feeds like this giant spider, like all the valleys that normally the river would have went down. It feeds and backs. To say it feeds to this point, but it backs up, and so it makes like this giant spider web of a lake. I guess you can call it a lake, overgrown river. I don't know. It looks like a lake. It looks like a giant spider to me. I'll see if I can drop the picture of it. But it's pretty spectacular stuff. I have to tell you, I came up here and I drove through the mountains, through the Ozarks themselves. I was holding on to my steering wheel. You're driving and it's just barely enough to fit the fit my truck. And you got maybe 20 inches to the right of you. I'm driving a dually, so I'm taking up the whole lane. And then there's about 20 inches, and then there's like a 100-foot cliff down there, maybe 200-foot cliff. Yeah, so I was gripping that steering wheel pretty tight. I have to tell you, scared the crap out of me coming up here. But I'm glad I fixed my front end and my steering box before I left. It was some crazy stuff. Oh, I'm gonna put this on backwards. This way I'm not tying it up. But yeah, I came up here. I had to pick up a fifth wheel, a miniature fifth wheel. So couldn't find one in Florida, and there's only a few in the country. So I drove up here. It was about 1,100 miles. Took me a couple of days. Drove through. I think it's like 19 hours I spent coming up here. But while I was here, I went to this place called Bridal Cave. Bridal Cave was amazing. It was the coolest cave I've been in, and it had a lake system or a pond in the back, and it went in pretty deep. I'd say a couple 100 feet, 300 feet maybe, best guess. And it had just about everything you'd want to look for in a cave. It was you got to duck and get through little spots. I was too fat, and I had to squeeze my way through a couple of spots, but it was pretty clever and amazing. Uh, yeah, if you're ever planning to hide from somebody or get away or vacation, the Ozarks, you can get lost here. I could, on the way here, I was traveling. I could travel literally for an hour and not even see a town. It was just like farmland and stuff like that, and then some mountain areas, and it would be like an hour between gas stations. So every 3/4 of a tank I'd fill up and make sure I had a full tank, because I had no idea what the next gas station would be. And so that was pretty awesome. Yeah, you want to take a look at all this good stuff. It makes me wonder about cryptocurrency. I've been monitoring it. There's a lot of really strange things going on in the world. And there's a lot of financial crises that are crises. Is that a word, crises? No, I don't think that's a word. I don't think that's a thing. Crisis. Uh, or many crises. Crises are going on. A lot of banks are having some difficulty. I think that we're going to start seeing some bank collapses. I think it's real possible. And the initial shock is definitely going to drop crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Um, I really am thinking on seeing 12,000, 12 to 15,000. That's where I'm placing my bet. I think that it's going to get kind of spooky. I think it's going to get kind of spooky. I'm going to be honest with you. Let's see here. How do you turn this turn that off? Let's see. We'll turn that off. There we go. Sorry about that. So let's. Oh, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. I was trying to see if I could flip the camera here, but it doesn't say how to. So, hey, Deadly Wound, how's it going? It's Dino. Oh my God, hang in there. Yeah, I'm gonna keep a portion of my crypto. But I started to sell out at least half of it. Um, over the last over the last 6 months. I got a good amount out in the 30 to 40,000 range, but at the 20, I wasn't so excited about selling it, but I did drop a little bit of it, and so I'm sitting on maybe half or less, and I'm thinking I can buy back as it goes down further. I'm between everything that's going on with Russia, and I have a feeling that may escalate. I think there's a really high chance of things escalating. Maybe we get some people fishing down there. Yeah, I wonder if they're catching anything. They look like they're having fun either way, right? So I'm like really bearish on crypto at the moment. Not on the permanent basis, but if the banks do collapse, they may try to push this CBDC and try to wean everybody out of cash. I think that there's going to be a lot of changes coming. A lot of things that are going to end up different. I just think that there's some significant changes that may happen. So definitely keep an eye. Think about what you're doing. I took some of that funding and I bought food, paid some bills, but that's where I'm at. Let's see here. What we got? Buying season is close. You're nailing it. Yeah. I think that I think it'll get a little bit lower. I mean, you can't go wrong purchasing now, but I think that I think it's gonna get tougher. There's the truck. She did good, and I got the new fifth wheel installed. Let's see here. Got my I had a fifth wheel installed. Actually, I had you see down in the bottom there, I had a gooseneck put in, so I can put a gooseneck ball, and then this is a companion fifth wheel that slides into the gooseneck, and then I lock it in place, and then I use a ratchet to put tension on a bolt on the other side, and that locks this thing in, and then I'll be able to open up the clamps and back it up and go from there. So I'll be picking up I went to go see the fifth wheel today. It's the reason why I wanted a fifth wheel. I was going to get a trailer, but I was looking for a miniature fifth wheel. It's only like 26 feet. It says 24, but it's physically 26 feet, 26 point, 26 feet 3 inches, somewhere in there, and it it's really small. I mean, it's about the length of my truck, so it's not going to be far. It's going to come out to about here. So yeah, I think it'll do good. So I'm a little hesitant. I've never been so hesitant with crypto. Um, you even have, if they do a blanket change of money to the new dollar or the digital dollar, and then try to ban, Bitcoin and all that, anything could happen. Literally anything can happen. When you have anything that could happen, it makes me nervous because there's nothing on the table that couldn't happen, and just about anything could happen. So it does make me a little nervous, as far as where it'll go and what we'll see into the future. So be a cognizant and aware. Follow things, but looking at the charts, we're getting really close to where the weekly um, and the monthly will start turning around, and we should see a positive increase. But there's so much bad news that you don't know. There's I just saw some bees. So you can see here, this looks really nice. Oh, let's see if we can get rid of this person. We'll decline that. It's so quiet and peaceful up here in the mountains. It is pretty neat. It's pretty neat, but I have to tell you, it scared the piss out of me driving up here on some of these back roads. You want to stay on the interstate and the state roads. Those 4-lane roads that work really well. So, but when you start getting into these county and just weird roads, oh my God, you barely can fit two cars on them, and and if you fall off the road, you're going in or off the cliff or off the ditch, and there's no shoulders or anything to pull over. It's it's permanent. Whatever happens, it's permanent. So, but it's an experience. It's an experience. I was at one of the at the cave, and then at the high point they had this giant tower that you could climb. Now I really don't like heights, but I have a lot of courage. I'll do just about anything. Gripping it tight, I'll do it. But I'm scared crap doing it. And so this tower was huge. I wish I could show you the pictures of this thing. I'm not sure how to bring it up, but that doesn't bring it super dead. But it, it was maybe 100 feet, 150 feet up there. I mean, it was up there. So I started climbing this tower, and there were buzzards at the top. There was probably like 8 buzzards. I mean, big birds, 4-foot wingspan buzzards, and they were up there. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to figure out how to shoo them off when I get there. So I'm climbing up. I get about halfway, and there's wasps everywhere. There's hundreds and hundreds. There could have been 500 wasps up there, and they're buzzing around, and I'm like, great. I'm starting to see a couple here and there, and they're fighting, and they're stinging each other, and I don't know what the heck they're doing. And then as I'm going up the next couple of levels, the tower's wiggling. Oh my God, jeez. No wonder why it says climb at your own risk at the top, at the bottom. So, so the thing's wiggling, And then there's wasps buzzing around me, and I'm like, I'm gonna back out of here. I really wanted to get to the top, even though it was scaring the crap out of me. The tower is starting to wiggle, and I'm up over the tree line. But it was amazing. You could see 20 miles. You could see 20 miles in all directions, and I was only like halfway up, and so the wasps. I wasn't afraid of the buzzards. They started to fly off, but the wasps really. I chickened out on the wasps. I wasn't interested in getting stung to death and find the carcass of me up at the top of this tower, and have to drive home with wasp stings. The wasps hurt. I got stung on the shoulder last month and at the building, and it stings for a long time. It was at least a week, so I decided to heck with it. So I backed out of that and I went back down. And I was like, damn. But I would have went to the top, but it was uh, it was scary. All the whole as each level I went on, it got scarier and scarier. Yeah. So it's so you gotta enjoy yourself. Think I'm gonna change my life a little bit, and I'm gonna spend a little time. I'm hitting 60, and what the average male lifespan is 72, and so what? I got maybe 12 years left, and so I need to spend some time with my wife. So I'm gonna start cutting back hours at work, and if make less, whatever it takes, then that's what it is. And if I have to shrink the building, I'll shrink the building. Whatever I got to do, I need to spend some time with my family, and do some stuff, and while I'm still capable, I think it's important. But I'll figure out a way. But yeah, no, I cashed out some of the crypto and got some hard goods, because you know what? It doesn't matter how much money you have if you can't find food, or I think a lot of people are going to be going hungry, and it's going to be food in the stores, but people aren't going to be able to afford it. I think that's where it's going to go. This inflation ain't going to slow down. Yuan's flipping out that they're putting interest rates higher, and because it's putting a lot of pressure on the other countries, making their fiat go down in value. And this winter is going to be interesting when there's no gas and energy for Europe. And if stuff starts happening in Europe, it'll start happening here in the States. It's going to affect us in some way. So you guys stay tough. I just wanted to check in, let you know I was having a little side trip, and I'm going to have to find the state roads to get out of these mountains. There's no way I'm taking these back roads. I mean, the dips would go down and back up. I thought my bumpers were gonna get stuck in the road on each side because the dip was so so steep. Yeah, it's crazy shit. Definitely crazy stuff here. I don't know how people live up here. And in the winter, you're stuck. If it's snowing, you ain't traversing some of these roads. There's just no possibility. There's just no possibility. I mean, you're kind of stuck in place. This is the ultimate self-sufficient group of people up here. They'll do just fine no matter what happens. All right, guys, enjoy yourself. I'll check in with you again. Hang tough. Keep an eye on the crypto. And make sure you have prepare.